Hey, Shalom family. Let's see. Here we go. I had a thought I want to share. Actually, this was the other day ago. I was listening to the talk show radio. I listened to Urban View and a man by the name of Joe Madison. And there was an issue came up about, they were talking about hairstyles. And the thought is, very quick thought, it's not going to be a lengthy video, just a quick thought. Most people, he was talking about cultural conditioning. And when you think about it, a lot of times we label other things as cultural conditioning, but then certain things we don't label as cultural conditioning. And what do I mean by cultural conditioning? A lot of times, everything that's not black, they made it white. That's what I'm talking about. So, but this particular thing I want to make mention about is the cultural conditioning when it comes to hairstyle called locks, right? We've been culturally conditioned to call the locks dreadlocks, and there was no such style in our ancient days called dreadlocks. There's nothing dreadful about our hair, but the cultural conditioning has us calling it dreadlocks. Dread means dreadful or awful or fearful looking. But that's a cultural conditioning. Now, the history of the thing is that it's been told to me that the Rastafarians coined that terminology dreadlock because that meant that they had the fear of the Most High, which is, it's a cultural conditioning, because when you really think about it, the so-called Jamaicans, their original language was not English. So English is dreadful, or dread is an English word, which is the language we got from our fathers. So when you put dread on there and call them dreadlocks, right? You are adding a byword to what the Most High called the hair. If you really want to properly call it right, you would just call it locks. You don't call it dreadlocks. And also, when you think about it, there's a fictional character called Goldilocks. You ever heard of her? They don't call her Goldie Dreadlocks. They call her Goldilocks. So why is it that when it refers to us, we got to put the dread on it, dreadlocks? But even the Gentiles have enough sense to know not to call Goldilocks Goldie Dreadlocks. So once again, like I said, it's a cultural conditioning. And so if you're going to go and acknowledge the things that are cultural conditioning as cultural conditioning, then let's go all the way with it. And the last piece to that is this, okay? The Messiah being a white man. That's a cultural conditioning. Nowhere in any books, historically or spiritually, aka religiously, where you find a white Messiah with the white name, or with a Latin name. Let that sink in for a minute. But yet we have culturally conditioned to hold on to a white Messiah with a white name. So if we're going to be denouncing the cultural conditioning, let's go all the way with this thing. That's all I got. Shalom.